Hi, I'm Dr. Libby Kemkaran, and this is Tame Your Brain, Pod 12. This is your 10 minutes of positivity to help calm the circuits and think about something else so you can be more comfortable in this time of crazy. Because here's the thing, when we live in fight or flight mode, it changes our behaviours, it changes what we do. Can't help but do that, that's how we're wired, that's survival mechanisms, they kick in. And the trouble with that is it just doesn't feel very good. So what we're going to do is look at our furries today in the other room. I'm going to flip the camera around so we can see the more grown-up kittens to start with, because I think we've got some excellent news and I'm a bit excited to say that I think we might have a home for the last two from this litter. That's Mummy as well, and that's so kind because the Mummy often has the kittens get picked, and then once she's spayed, poor Mummy just gets left behind in the shelter and becomes another unwanted cat. And that's really sad. So I'm hoping I'll be able to confirm tomorrow that we've got a home for lovely Duchess and O'Malley. These two here, obviously, that are killing each other, are now very happily homed by our helper heroes, Thomas, Freddie and Wynne. So we're really pleased about that. So, and I've heard they're getting excited and writing diaries and things, so that's good. So we're going to talk about what it's like being unloved. We're talking about the two human fears today, which is a really interesting concept. And being unloved is something that as a human, we do anything to get away from that feeling. It causes intense pain. And that's why I keep saying we need to think about physical distancing, not social distancing, because being disconnected is the most painful experience as humans that we go through. There is literally a punishment that effectively causes death. If the tribes shun a member and that person gets no human contact, they can literally expire. And I find that fascinating. Pointing the bone, this idea that they've told you you're going to die and then they just ignore you as if you are dead. And this is one of those real phenomena that happens because of our mirror neurons, because of our brain. We need human connection, just like these little kittens need to kill each other in a very precise way. So we're going to go back through to our little Queenie litter and go and see if we go and get all of those out. Then we can hopefully come through. Can we come through, or is the kitten in the way of the door? How are we doing? Oh, we may have to pause. Oh no, we found the kitten. Okay, fine. So I'm going to take you back through to our other more baby litter, and then we'll get them out and hopefully be able to have a good look at them. So when we're thinking about this idea of disconnect and this concept that we have of why we need to feel appreciated and why we need to feel connected to people, it comes down... Hello! And as we can see, I'll just show you. I'm being told off because apparently it's very much food time by Queenie. So Evie, would you do the honours? And then we can... I know, Poppet. I know, I do know. So here's our little kittens for today. We're just going to start getting them out in a moment so we can see them moving around. So these human fears are really important. And the first really basic one is this. It's I'm not enough. And that can be I'm not good enough, I'm not clever enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not funny enough. Do any of those ring true for any of you? Do they ring any bells? And so we have to have a think about what's my personal fear story. Because guess what, guys? Everyone has got one. Everyone's got a feeling of uncertainty that comes from how centered self you are, how secure you are with your identity. And you will have an I'm not enough somewhere buried deep in your psyche. Is something that might be from school. It might be from when you were growing up. You might have failed an important test. I know I certainly did. And that's sometimes enough to set a belief system that says, I'm just not good enough, I'm just not clever enough. And one of the things that happens is if you're especially big fish, small pond, and then suddenly you get dropped into a bigger environment, you feel that pain of like, oh God, actually I'm not that clever after all. One thing I want to touch on around this is, what does that mean? Because this is all about what drives you. We do things for two reasons. We do them either to escape pain or to gain pleasure. And we can call those towards and away behaviours, and they literally push and pull us. And goals that we've talked about, when we've mentioned about, are you setting the right goals? Are you challenging yourself enough but not too much? It's usually because you're trying to do a goal that fits with your human needs and your fear layer. So it's either to meet your human need or to allay one of those fears. So if you're not enough and you're trying to prove yourself, this time for you might be a challenge if you're trying to be the best mother you can be and you're constantly bombarded with all of these images of people with crocheted rainbows and mosaics of human hair. What we fear we lack drives us to either, number one, work harder, or number two, go the other way and invade it completely. Now, interestingly, growth mindset is a relatively new concept going into the schools, and it's so powerful because if a part of your identity is a base fear of I'm not clever enough, then your behaviours complete teacher, you bet your boots they probably gave you the idea that you can do it, you're good enough. And I'll talk more about this tomorrow. We're losing our kittens, they're dispersing. And this is what happens as they get older, they begin questing around. So fears are so important because they guide your every choice in life, and that includes your goal setting as well. So we're just going to pick up little Pingu today, if we can find a Pingu, because we got the good news yesterday that little Pingu has definitely got a home, and what's lovely is it was Margot, whose little girl whose birthday it was yesterday, is taking lovely Pingu and very kindly taking Queenie, the mummy, as well. So we're absolutely delighted that they're both going to a nice home together. So thank you, Margot and the family. That's really, really lovely. So I'm just going to bring this all together and talk about what's next, because obviously talking about the human fears is something that really counts. But when you go into this next half of the week, have a think. What's holding you back? What is it that is your limiting belief? What limiting belief have you held about yourself that either it's like I'm not clever enough or I'm not good enough, or what would change if you change that? And I'll give you as homework a little thought piece of what's that stopped me from having? What has that limiting belief stopped me from doing? That concept that might be about your homeschooling. Are you feeling I'm not enough in that? It might be about I'm not a good enough mum. I'm shouting at my kids the whole time. And I'm seeing this a lot on the mummy groups. People are really struggling this week with just feeling they're doing it right. So please do comment and let me know what you're feeling, because there are things we can do about this, and I'll be really happy to help. I'm building up to a Tame Your Kids slightly longer segment, which I'm going to put out on Friday night at 5 p.m. So if you want to contribute your questions or your worries to that, I'll be really happy to give you a direct answer if you're happy to be included. Also, if you're just joining us, then all the other videos from this series are available on the website kemkaran.com, which links you to my YouTube channel, and they're also on the Facebook page. Do sign up to the newsletter. We've got a good 30 odd people signed up to that, and I'll be starting to put that out on a weekly basis soon. I'm not going to spam you, but I'm just going to give you some top tips for the week based on what's happening in the world. So I hope that's been useful for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the gorgeous little kittens as they're beginning their new crawling around life, and they'll just get bigger and stronger from here. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Stay well. Thanks for coming along. Bye.